Young Thug didn't snitch, and I can explain it in 3 minutes. So everyone thinks Thug's Interrogation just dropped, but it actually came out in 2023 and nobody had the same energy. YouTuber Ceddy Nash would pay $500 for the original video to be taken off of YouTube so he could strategically re-release it in what is a smear campaign against Young Thug.
He paid me, he said, just take down the video because I want to re-release it on my channel. I'm about to do something.
My boy Trap Lord Ross confirmed to me that Ceddy Nash put him onto the video, and Trap heard Ceddy wanted the video to come out, but he didn't want to be the man responsible for it. So he gave it to Ross, and Ross's reaction was big enough to have No Jumper, Academics, and Say Cheese firing off posts at Young Thug. And then the notorious Wack 100 would step in and admit that this was a team effort to target Thug.
I was on Act, me, you, we going live. I'm going to bring my team on. I brought Flacco on. Ceddy Nash came in as an exposure just right now for us doing this play we running. And Ceddy released them clips.
But audio from a year ago, you can hear Wack 100 defending Thug and everything he said in the interrogation.
Never gave him no information. Not supposed to say nothing. Like
they asked him, yo, you heard about what happened in
Roscoe, did he do it? And Roscoe said, hell no. He said the media said everybody was saying it was Roscoe, and Roscoe did it for me.
But let's break down the actual allegations. In May of 2015, Pee Wee Roscoe got arrested for shooting up Wayne's tour bus as reported by TMZ. And 2 months later, Thug got arrested as reported by TMZ. Now, after Thug got arrested, he went to court. They pulled him in for an interview with the police, and they went to asking him about Pee Wee Roscoe. Now, Thug said he heard Roscoe did it, but keep in mind, TMZ, the news, and every fucking blogger all said Roscoe did it. So Thug wasn't saying he heard it from the streets. He's saying they're saying on the news Roscoe did it. And that's exactly what Wack 100 said a year ago. Now, Thug also told investigators that Roscoe was selling to Wayne to establish a friendship between the two, because Roscoe was accused of firing up Wayne's tour bus. And lastly, Thug would say he makes promises and ask the female detective to take his number. Now, Thug would later do an interview and say he was flirting with the female detective. And a year ago, when Academics covered the situation, even Act pointed out the female was flirting with him.
You got the female cop acting like she flirted with him. Hey, how you sing that part? Oh, that's my thing. Acting like she's a...
So no, Thug didn't snitch. The interrogation, along with the jail calls, was a strategic move to turn the internet and the industry against him. Should he have said everything he said? No, and that's why he apologized for it. And if y'all don't accept his apology,
whoop they do.
Oh, man. Hashim, we come here today celebrating a new year, but same OBS. So it may seem. Hashim, we come here today to declare what? See, it's funny because Yom Kippur is coming up, and I'm supposed to atone for a lot. And all right, cool. Let's do it. All right, Ceddy Nash, 1090J just exposed you. Nah, not really. Good. Yeah, y'all. Good video. Good video. Good video. Good video. Give it a good 8 out of 10, which is very high for me. Very high for me. There's just certain standards that has to be met. First off, I ain't doing no business with no damn Charleston White, bro. Like, that's number one. Hell to the no.
Thug team hit me, and I'm like, all I know is I got paid to take my video down. I send a screenshot. They see it's Ceddy Nash, and Dora reach out to Ceddy Nash, start going off on him. And that's why Ceddy Nash started with that burn it down bullshit all on his page, like he lashing out at Thug team. Cause I guess they kind of hollering at him behind the scenes. You know, I didn't want to out him, but y'all outed me. Y'all paid me to take it down, put it out with my logo, and now he's a rat. Like, and I did some digging, and I found out that Angel, the publicist, that's Ceddy Nash's publicist. That's Woody's publicist. That's Charleston White's publicist. So they all been going hard. Like Charleston White did the Say Cheese interview. Woody, he started a podcast. Ceddy Nash going hard. Like, this is an organized campaign from right over there. Ceddy Nash started the payment. He sent the payment, but that's where it's coming from. I don't know how the jail calls are happening, and I haven't tied it back to Gunna, but it's crazy how they started this shit. It's literally coming down to bullying. They feel like Thug been bullying. That's what's going on, bro.
Now, Angel the publicist does in fact follow and is followed by Ceddy Nash. And in her bio, it would state she's management for Woody, who's posted all over her page. In an older post, she'd even wish a happy birthday to her best friend, mentor, and #1 client, none other than Charleston White. So the blogger's theory of a smear campaign seems to be aligning, as Charleston is locked in with Sean Cotton, the owner of Say Cheese, and Ceddy is locked in with No Jumper. So it wouldn't be hard for Ceddy and his alleged team to clip up Thug's interview, fire it off to all the blogs, who then repost the same shit on the same day, as everyone starts firing at Young Thug simultaneously.
Hell to the no. At max, me and Charlie White could do a 20v1. But for me to follow lead from Charleston White, nigga, nah. I won't be doing no business with Charleston White. I would have to be paid a ridiculous amount of money. So nah, ain't nobody gonna pay the money that I'm gonna want, because it's gonna be people I'm gonna have to give money to, because they gonna basically turn on me. I'm gonna have to be like, hey bro, listen, bam, there y'all go. You know what I'm saying? So hell no, I ain't doing no damn anything. And Angel ain't my publicist, so there's that part. And I wouldn't put Lil Woody in no situation like this. Do y'all think if Lil Woody knew any of this that he wouldn't have egged it on? Y'all think he, like, I know, you know, Thug said Woody take medicine, but nigga, y'all don't think that. First off, why wouldn't I? Man, listen. Logically, you just have to set it up better. So Woody knew nothing of this any damn ways. When it came out, he was just as shocked as y'all. You know, I give certain people plausible deniability. And some of y'all gonna say, that's cap, that's cap, that's cap. All right. If Jake would have took a little deeper dive, he would have seen that Ceddy Nash, Yak Gotti, and Tasha put this all together. That was the first conspiracy. So the little bum ass dude that stayed in the car that hit up 1090 Jake and said all that and everything like that, if you want, I can expose the inbox messages. I never said any of that. I did say, take it down. So that part is very true. But Nash, bruh, you telling me you set this all up? I sure in the hell did. From the interrogation tapes resurfacing to the goddamn audio, all of this stuff, which is all publicly available. There is no statute of limitations on how I can do it. That I concoct it all, you goddamn right. Sorry. Whoop-de-doo. Now, there's people probably, F you, Ceddy Nash, you a punk, all this stuff and all that. And I kept on saying to you guys, how are you upset that I'm fighting back? It's not as though I started this. Let me help y'all out. I didn't start this. This is the cause and effect part. I ain't start this. And I gave Young Thug and his people fair warning. I gave them niggas 24 hours to prepare themselves for the coldest winter in summer history. What you talking about, Nash? So let's give you all the timeline. And yeah, Trap Lord Ross, you my guy. Yeah, I did do that to you, bro. And you were a willing participant. So don't act like your ass just decided to say what he said and all this stuff and everything. So yeah. So let's destroy one rumor real quick before we even get to the hard part of this video. Let's go. So here you can see the 27th of August from episodes. Young Thug's sister, Dora, shared a DM in a deleted IG story alleging Ceddy Nash paid $500 to suppress Thug's interrogation video so he could repost it as new while also dissing him and Yak Gotti. So you can see right here. Right here. Okay. And it says, just by the way, I did some digging. And Ceddy Nash paid the original person who posted it $500 to take it down. And as you can see, that's that and that and that, right? And it says today, right? So he can pretend it's new. Hand over face emoji. Yak, Tosh, and Ceddy, go play in the dirt, twin. Yeah, so no. And let's give a little further proof real quick, because that whole entire thing was done by me, and me only. Look, let's do a timeline of certain shit, right? So the person who did this shit hit me up in November 1st, 2023. See, he had the whole entire stuff. I told y'all, I don't go and get no paperwork. I just buy the shit. I told y'all this before. So you can see November 21st, 2023. I never seen this. What's the ticket? How about 100 in a mention? So when buddies say all this crap about, oh man, they put my logo up and all this crap and everything, nigga, you did this. So you're lying. He's doing that to save his ass because he's secretly trying to get on with Young Thug. How would you know that though, Ceddy Nash? Well, let's go back exactly to what the hell I exactly said once upon a time. You know what I'm saying? So right here, let's get into it. Let's really get into it. I never told this dude no damn what's the name. I say once again how much you want for that tape. August 12th. This was on the 12th. Which tape? Boom. I sent him this. I told him I need to take it private. You know what I'm saying? What you want? Now, normally I just argue it down, but dude is homeless. Like, he down bad. So I'm like, you know what? It's cool. And then boom. What was the reason Ceddy Nash is going to repost it? He wouldn't have known. I literally say, I need you to take it private so they don't rip my channel over being reused content. That makes sense. What's the offer? What you want? Only 5. Then boom. So when y'all see this crap right here, yeah, none of that crap. So that right there is the disloyal weirdo who tried to do everything. Now, I can further expose him, but we ain't finna do all that. But buddy mad because he tried to double cross me by trying to run with Young Thug team. And it's perfectly fine. Just stay over there. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. you got a P.O. box. Nah, the real stuff came out on August 16th. So there's that. But don't worry, we'll get more to it. Pee Wee Rocco. You had an article by TMZ that said you was snitching on Birdman. You asked where the paperwork was at, right? Right. TMZ. Where the paperwork at? You told on Young Thug and Birdman. You dirty, dirty snitch. Check it out. Now, this is what I want to understand, right? And this right here, this paper is from Pee Wee Roscoe, July 9th, 2025. In Jake's video, this lines up directly with all of this crap right here. Why does this matter? Why was Young Thug taken into that interrogation room in the first place? Well, because Pee Wee Roscoe snitched on Young Thug. Wait, what? Hey, Pee Wee Roscoe, you gonna have to show your paperwork, bro. It's either Young Thug snitched on you or you snitched on him. Oh, but y'all, okay. All right, don't worry about it. Motion to dismiss due to selective prosecution comes now. Jimmy Winfrey, the defendant, by and through undersigned counsel, and respectfully requests this honorable court to dismiss the indictment in this case based on selective prosecution. Which means, why y'all taking me and y'all not getting anybody else? I was like, hey, bro, Lil Johnny, come from behind that tree, bro. Hey, Joe, come from behind that car. We caught. I know y'all like, nah, Nash. No, Ceddy Nash, not possible. In support of this motion, defendant respectfully shows as follows. Proposed findings of fact. Defendant Winfrey turned himself into authorities on 6/1/15 in Cobb County, Georgia, for an incident that took place on 4/26/15. Defendant was indicted for a violation of RICO, which was returned 6/25/15. However, throughout the racketeering indictment, the state alleges that Jimmy Winfrey, Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, and Brian Williams, aka Birdman, were involved in the shooting of the tour buses that belonged to Dwayne Carter, aka Lil Wayne. Really? How did they figure that part out? The events leading up to the shooting, as stated in the background section of the racketeering indictment, as follows. Brian Williams, Dwayne Carter, Jeffrey Williams, and defendant Winfrey are purportedly blood members. Pee-wee, I thought you was great. But anyways, Brian Williams and Dwayne Carter had a financial dispute over monies owed to Dwayne Carter. Jeffrey Williams supported Brian Williams in a dispute, and this caused problems between Jeffrey Williams and Dwayne Carter. Jeffrey Williams made a rap video 5 days prior to the shooting on 4/26/2015, in which he purportedly threatened Dwayne Carter and made gang references. Defendant Winfrey and other gang members went to Compound nightclub in Atlanta on 4/26/2015, where Dwayne Carter was performing. Defendant Winfrey's car was seen following Dwayne Carter's tour bus. Defendant Winfrey was on the phone with Jeffrey Williams during this time. How did they find that out? I'm curious. What phone did you give him, Mr. Winfrey? Defendant Winfrey's car was next to the buses at the time of the shooting, and Defendant Winfrey called Brian Williams after the shooting. Essentially, the government asserts that Defendant Winfrey carried out Jeffrey Williams' threat against Dwayne Carter by shooting at the buses. The indictment implies that Jeffrey Williams, Brian Williams, and Defendant Winfrey were accomplices in this criminal activity. Furthermore, the indictment alleges that both Brian and Jeffrey Williams were involved in the racketeering activity of Defendant Winfrey, which culminated in the alleged shooting, in spite of the state's own allegations. So the state said neither Jeffrey Williams nor Brian Williams have been charged or arrested as co-conspirators to this racketeering activity. So if they didn't do that, how did they figure that part out? Argument and citation to authority. The state is clearly culpable of selectively prosecuting Mr. Winfrey while wholly neglecting Jeffrey and Brian Williams' role in the offense charge. Under Georgia law, selective prosecution occurs when one, others similarly situated to a defendant uniformly have not been prosecuted, and two, the discriminatory prosecution of the defendant is based upon an impermissible motive such as race, religion, or some other arbitrary or unjustified standard. State versus AN, Georgia. We ain't finna read all that. The party seeking to prove selective prosecution bears the burden of proving the misconduct by the weight of the evidence, which means what party is seeking to add them? It's clearly not the prosecution, because Jeffrey Williams and Brian Williams ain't in this. So how did they get there? Jimmy Winfrey. Jimmy Winfrey basically has his lawyer get this going. The party is seeking to prove selective prosecution, meaning we gonna prove that Young Thug and Birdman are involved in this. Interesting. So the existence of an arbitrary or unjustifiable standard may be inferred by a showing that similar offenses have gone uninvestigated or unprosecuted, that the district attorney knew or should have known such offenses, and that the failure to act without reasonable and responsible explanation. In this case, or the case at bar, the Messrs. Williams are similarly situated to Mr. Winfrey, but have not been prosecuted. Thus, the first prong selective prosecution has been met. Additionally, the state's inaction as to both Messrs. Williams demonstrative that its prosecution of Mr. Winfrey's is impermissibly based upon an arbitrary standard. First, Brian Williams' financial dispute with Dwayne Carter is what ultimately led to the shooting. As such, Brian Williams should be held as liable as a party to the crime, because the motive is, I told them to kill or try to get Lil Wayne because of a money dispute. Finding that out because the defendant, as a willing participant in a gunfight which caused the victim's death. Well, we're going to go right back. So what they're saying is C. Smith versus State, finding that because the defendant, as a willing participant in a gunfight which caused the victim's death, was thereby liable for felony murder as a party to the crime, even if he did not fire the shot that killed the victim. Further, Brian Williams made threats to shoot Dwayne Carter on his Instagram account 5 days prior to the shooting. So it wasn't Young Thug who did that. It was who? Birdman. Likewise, Jeffrey Williams had issues with Dwayne Carter. Jeffrey Williams made threats to shoot Dwayne Carter on a music video prior to the shooting. Brian Williams and Jeffrey Williams' actions, as alleged by the state, make them parties to the crime. In an instant case, the state has nevertheless failed to charge Brian Williams and Jeffrey Williams in this action is without any reasonable explanation. In fact, the government's response, if any, in validating its actions and not prosecuting these two men would defy credulity. Under these circumstances, the existence of an arbitrary or unjustifiable action can be inferred on the part of the state. Thus, Mr. Winfrey has met his burden of proving the state has engaged in selective prosecution, and thus the indictment against him should be dismissed. Wherefore, the defendant asks this honorable court to dismiss the indictment against him based on selective prosecution. Respectfully submitted the 8th day of July 2015. Aurora, that's my guy Manny Aurora, and Lawrence J. Zimmerman. Just wondering, You snitch ass snitchy. Yeah, you a snitch, Pee Wee Roscoe. There was a little bit of game that Trap Lord Ross blessed 1090 Jake with, and he overlooked it. Young Thug, we can't call you a snitch, but we can infer you one. I didn't call Young Thug a snitch the same way I didn't call Lil Woody a snitch, because y'all niggas get in there and y'all try to spin the damn police in them interrogation rooms. I want to say it in a different way. Like, y'all try to spin the pigs, but I'm not doing all that. Y'all try to spin the cops. But the difference with Woody, the difference with you, is a couple of things. The first one is this. Young Thug, had Pee Wee Roscoe went to trial, do you think that that interrogation video would have been used? All right. See, the problem with Lil Woody did was Lil Woody ass went in there, talked too damn much, made up people, and got his ass arrested. But he did fed time. He did prison time. Young Thug, you did none of that. Y'all indictment did not start off in the RICO indictment started for Young Thug and all these cats because of no goddamn Lil Woody. And you know that. You know that. If we were ever to put the truth out, we'd have to wait. You know why they'd have to wait? Because dual sovereignty exists. Or they can do a whole entire another re-indictment. That's why certain stories in Atlanta knows I know this, because I walk around Atlanta pretty good, because the real cats, they love Ceddy Nash. Y'all notice the real people in Atlanta, they not disrespecting Ceddy Nash. Behind the scenes, they like, we glad you did that shit, bruh. We don't even fuck with Young Thug. He ain't put nobody on from over here. He ain't did this, he ain't did that. By the way, in case y'all wanted to know, those people will not be getting blasted out today because, once again, if you tell it to me in private, I won't make it public. We can infer Young Thug as a snitch based off of what exactly? That he made up a whole bunch of shit and went in there and said stuff and was trying to figure stuff out. But he wouldn't even been in that position had it not been for Pee Wee Roscoe. Pee Wee Roscoe. If we want to tell the truth, telling the truth, you a damn snitch, and Your Thug should be kicking you out of that goddamn apartment that you in Miami. Or is it the other one in that little Circle Cove up the, I know where it's at, by the way. You know, that NBA player that lets you stay in his shit, that's in that one spot up the road. You know where. I know where you should lay your head at, right? We can still get the Aiden Rose boxing match going on. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to give you a chance to win. I don't smoke weed. I don't pop pills. I barely even drink anymore. It had to be a very special occasion like a birthday. But I'll do all of those things to make sure you got a clear chance to win. People, to summarize this story up, Young Thug and his team been doing some lame ass shit towards me and basically tried to do lame ass shit towards me even further. And now people are upset because they didn't realize the monster that they was going against. But ain't it funny how they still took my advice? See, they talking about interviews. I never asked for a Young Thug interview. If you recall what I said Dennis Byron and Miss Sylvia deserve interviews with Young Thug. I don't want shit. I'm going to be all right. And we've made more money this year than the other 2 years combined. So please don't talk about that trial shit, because really, no. Will I still support Young Thug, Young Jeffrey Williams? Musically, hell yeah. But will I sit up here and pretend like they didn't screw me first and this is just me fighting back? And even in my fighting back, I still didn't go scorched earth. But Young Thug, we don't know what statement you truly made. Because Pee Wee Roscoe didn't take it to trial like you said in that song. So I don't know. I can't call you a snitch based off of what I don't know. But I put it this way. If anybody did, I couldn't fight them on it.